Hello everyone. Today I will be walking you through a project-based learning activity based on the chapter Neerja Banot Brave in Life. This activity focuses on newspaper and articles and helps children build reading, comprehension and writing skills. Every PBL has a set of components. Concept covered is article reading, learning outcomes and learning objectives. Before writers begin an article, what do you think they do? They research, they observe, and they plan. That's what exactly we want our learners to practice here. Become little reporters. The key learning objectives can be researching about newspapers, understanding the parts of an article, comprehending a passage, draft and writing short paragraphs based on print and visual clues. So every PBL has a think question. What do you think writers do before they start writing an article? They think about the topic, meaning they choose what to write about. They decide the audience, meaning they think about who will read it. They make an outline, they write main headings or notes. So here are a few thoughts that might pop up in the minds of our young learners. Moving on to activity 1 is newspaper treasure hunt. Here students will first explore a newspaper at home. They will look at the first page and draw what they see. This builds observation and curiosity. So here are a few examples where the learners can read through look at the samples of these examples. They can see the first cover page of the newspaper and they can draw what they have seen. The next activity, let's find out. Here, they will ask the elders what is a newspaper and write down interesting answers. This brings in family involvement and oral communication. So, what is a newspaper is a student who's going to ask their elder. A newspaper tells us what is happening in the world can be the answer, or one of the elders can say, in olden days, everyone read newspapers every morning with tea. Another elderly person can say newspapers also tell about jobs and advertisements. So this is one way of involving family and oral communication. Moving on to activity 3, let's match newspapers. So here, the learners are going to keep newspapers next to them. They're going to search for an article and they have to find out what it is all about. So here, learners will actually study the parts of an article. First being the heading. The learners will read the heading from the newspaper and what the article, and as it tells what the article is about, they can find the heading in the article and they can write in the space given. Subheading. Likewise, they can see what is the subheading is and they can write what the article subheading is all about. Body. They can find the body in the article or in the newspaper article. They can cut it and paste it in the space given in the next. They can find the photo in the article. They can cut and paste the same. So likewise, they will identify these parts in a real newspaper article and note them down or paste them. Moving on to activity 4, tell us about your article. Students read a short article. For example, trouble with monkeys at Tumukuru Park. Then they will answer the questions. What was the problem faced by the fruit seller at the Tumukuru Park? Or where did this incident happen? This proves comprehension and critical thinking. Activity 5, create an article. Finally, learners write their own article based on an important school event. They can add a headline, subheadline, a body, and a drawing as well. This makes them feel like real journalists. Every PBL has a creative space. Here they need to cut and paste an article of their choice. They can share it with their friends and discuss what is common or different. Here are a few examples. They can talk about sports or they can talk about pollution. So likewise, they can fill in their creative space. Every PBL has a self-assessment question. So to wrap up, the students can test their understanding through questions like what do you find in the newspaper or what will you not find in the newspaper. They can read the questions, tick the correct options, and all the options can be marked on the OMR sheet provided using pencil or a blue or a black ballpoint pen. For complete solutions to all the self-assessment questions that's provided at the end of each PBL, they can refer to Teachopia. And the path is given below. So through this PBL activity, students don't just learn about Neerja Banot and bravery, but they also connect with real world skills, reading newspapers, extracting information, and writing articles. So this PBL turns them into active learners and young reporters who can seek, process, and share information meaningfully. Thank you, teachers.